What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 2 of the HuMANiTEAM Report from Teams of Men. Kip Ioane here. And as a reminder, if this is your first time either visiting our channel, you can subscribe if you haven't before down here, or listening to the HuMANiTEAM Report video playlist. This is where we provide our newsletter that goes out monthly to folks interested. You can subscribe. You'll see that in the comments below, in the comments about the episode. But this is our digital version of that newsletter. It's typically 2 to 3 editions behind the current newsletter. But if you just digest, if you're not a big reader, this is our way of providing some longer form content on our YouTube channel, where you can still get a lot of our discussions about current events, a lot of our framework for coaches out there, male athletes, middle school through college level sports teams, where we want you to embrace your power as a coach and a mentor that the young athletes trust, and help them on their journey to reimagining manhood, building a healthy manhood full of emotional fluency, healthy relationship skills, compassion, and in doing so, not only create authentic connections in your program that will help you win in the long run, but also help us in our goal of ending gender violence and oppression in all its forms, one locker room of influencers at a time. So once again, welcome to the HuMANiTEAM Report, episode 2 from Teams of Men. Let's dive in. All right, this week with the HuMANiTEAM Report, we really dove into the epidemic of male loneliness. And I think this is so vital for coaches. You can see some of the images we'll cross-cut into here. LA Times article, more than 1 in 7 men report having no close friends. Another article that we talked about from Men's Health, I believe. This man's experience shows how susceptible men are to severe loneliness. Hell, if you go all the way back to our youngest participants, coaches of middle school teams, in 6th grade, only a third of friendships endure through the school year, research shows. And the research is based on Hardy, Larson, and Sillison from 2015, and Lassard and Jovanin from 2018. By 12th grade, just 1% of middle school friendships remain intact. And this is something that we've been hearing from young men, not just us ourselves from Teams of Men, but from studies done across the world, Equimundo being one of the top studies. Less than 30% of men claim to have 6 close friends. 65% of men say no one really knows me well. There's a 5-fold increase in the percentage of males since 1990 who report having 0 close friends of any kind. And we know this is vital for coaches watching, for moms and dads of student athletes watching, because your son, if he's on a sports team, does have access to one of the antidotes to male loneliness, which is a sports program, a team room, a locker room. But we also know that without intentional work from the coaches of those teams, the coaches we work with and hopefully are watching our HuMANiTEAM Report, the very fact that they're participating in a sport, yes, is a step one, but it doesn't actually guarantee that they're solving their loneliness and actually creating meaningful, authentic connection. Remember, if it takes 90 hours of time with someone before you can consider them a real friend, and 200 more hours of them to become close, of course, a team in a season can get you towards the quantity that a lot of experts talk about in building relationships. But part of our issue is how our coaches out there of these male sports teams actually making the quantity less important as the quality, because bonding can happen over authentic engagement, but it can also happen over toxic behaviors. Bonding itself is neutral. We believe coaches and parents have the responsibility to use the unique setting of sport to model and teach ways to bond over growth, to bond over a better humanity, emotional fluency, relationship skills that are healthy, not just bonding over laughter at someone else's pain, bonding over toxic statements about LGBTQ community, about women. We don't want bonding in toxicity. We want bonding and authenticity. In the newsletter, there's a starting point of discussion in the written version that, once again, you can subscribe to in the comments of the episode. But I think a lot of times coaches, when you put in teen time into your actual calendar, that's great. I hear a lot of coaches tell me, say, we have scheduled bonding time, we have scheduled family time, but it can't just be an exposure or a proximity situation for your players. Hey, they were in the same room. Because we know osmosis doesn't just happen and like, oh, I was next to you for 12 minutes. Suddenly we've bonded. No, we need to be really giving them tools, prompts, games. We need to be tricking them sometimes into actual quality and bonding experiences in those exposures. And that's something Teams of Men can help with. But also, I know coaches, you have these skill sets out there to take on some of this with intention. You can do this. I think one way we would share is just embrace feed the feedback. Use Google Forms, use Survey Monkey, use any other version. Our kids are used to their thumbs in their phones. They will take a 2-minute survey on their phone more likely than they will raise their hand and tell you how they feel in the team environment. Build a survey, give them 7 to 8 questions that give you insight into the actual dynamics of your locker room. If you don't know how to do this, if you don't know how to build surveys, or, hey, coach, I could build a survey, but what do I do with the information? That's why we exist. TeamsOfMenLLC.com. You can see it down there. Make sure you visit us. We can help you. Because remember, your players are lonely. The epidemic of male loneliness is out there, but they're in sports. Sometimes to solve that problem, where mom and dad push them to you because they recognize they needed to build real relationships. Their teammates are there for them. But you have to schedule the time, and you have to craft the time intentionally. Man, check out this next image. And it's a tweet from Dr. Jessica Taylor at Dr. Jess Taylor, Jess. I would recommend her as a follow. Never met her, love the follow. But check out this image that we're going to cut to. When men say to their girlfriends, I trust you, I just don't trust other men. I know what men are like. That's all the evidence you need that men do actually see male violence. They do see men sexually harassing women. They do know about rape culture. They know. Man, what a powerful, powerful statement. Co-sign it 100%. But I wonder the power of this tweet and throwing it up in your next team meeting. Do it in film. Splice it into the next film. If you're out of season watching us, screenshot it and send it in a team thread. Fellas, reactions. All you got to put it REAX, reacts, go. And yeah, you're going to get back some co-signing. You're going to get some pushback. Like, coach, I don't believe this. This is bullshit. Cool. Engage it. Engage and discuss. Current events never fail to give us opportunity to find teachable moments, teachable things. This is a great insight into the man box. This is a great insight into believing women, believing survivors, believing victims. This is a great insight into unlearning. You got to engage curiosity. Sidebar, you can find our swag that I'm rocking on here in the comments. But engage curiosity and help them unlearn some things. And I think this from Dr. Jess Taylor is a great starting point. Fellas, what do you think of this, what she's saying? Have you said this to one of your partners, your romantic partners? How did that go over? What do you think about now sitting with it as a group? What do you see as her point? How do you feel about it? That's just off the top of my head. These are all discussions you can have. It takes 10 minutes. The guys are hungry for this. They want to have these discussions, even, coach, if it means disagreement in the room. You're disagreeing and talking about things that matter. Okay? Vulnerability is a connection point. Unlearning is growing. Engage curiosity as a superpower. This is the way to do it. Coach, if you're uncomfortable with this next topic, just cut and paste me here from this edition of the HuMANiTEAM Report. If you're a basketball coach of young male athletes, middle school through college, and you're not talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder guard Josh Giddey's current situation with sleeping with an underage minor, you're missing the boat. Your guys are talking about this. It's been trending for a week and a half. I'm recording this on November 30th. It's been in the news. It's all over their social media accounts. They have an opinion. They have a thought. They've talked about it. This is where you need to step up and discuss. Okay. You need to embrace the Teams of Men coaching framework and use your platform to address the legal, ethical, and moral aspects of this case and help them identify, guys, where do healthy relationship skills, consent skills, your idea of yourself as a man and conquest in the bedroom, where does this fall in what you're watching in real time? An up-and-coming NBA player, perhaps being in a deep pile of you-know-what with their career because they thought with their genitals rather than their brains, and really not with their hearts, okay? If you don't talk about this, you are doubling down on a culture of silence, ignorance, and just basically leaving your guys at the mercy of their own level of naivete, okay? If you're uneasy about bringing this topic up, I challenge you to do the work to get educated. Start with clicking. I'll put the link in the comments as well. Author Julie DeCaro's got a piece on the topic. Start there. Go to ESPN.com. Just type in Giddey and dive into the topic. You can do this. Next, use the tool that we'll put in the comments as well to find out the age of consent laws in the state you coach in. If you're a college coach, you should know the age of consent laws, and your guys should know from their home state, not just the state you exist in. Okay? You could even start here, guys, put up Josh Giddey's picture. put up the screenshot of him with a 15-year-old from a club and say, guys, I don't know enough about the giddy thing or the law. So I decided, because I was ignorant to something I thought was important for you, let me show you the process I just used to go find out and educate myself so I could help you guys. Then talk them through the steps you took to educate yourself. At the very least, you're giving them a process in unearthing new facts for their brain to grow in their understanding. Okay. That's just the launch point. But you have to engage in these deeper conversations about sex, intimacy, relationships, and consent. If you're not, you're missing the boat. And if you want to, but you're scared, that's what we do. Get a hold of us. Lastly, from our course catalog is now available. I'm going to put a QR code and picture in a picture here for the episode. Our course catalog is up right now, coach. If you're a coach of a male sports team, ages middle school through college, we have 10 ready to use three lesson mini courses that you and your staff can use right now. It's based on 10 years of me doing this work myself. The curriculum works. The content is relevant and accurate. And even if you don't know anything, you can take the course with your players side by side. You don't have to stand up and deliver this in lecture expert format. You can say, guys, we're diving into this. This week, we're taking the soundtrack to our soul course from TeamsOfMen. We're going to figure out what the messaging, what the music should sound like that we play. And we're going to do it together. It's not going to be an edict from me. They got 3 lessons. We're going to do it. By the time we're done, we're all going to be on the same page. They're ready now. The QR code is here. Scan that. Go download the courses. That was a big push in the print edition of the HuMANiTEAM Report this month, is go check out our courses. We know that bringing me in sometimes isn't feasible all the time in person. Obviously, there's only one of me. We hope to be growing and expanding our facilitators lineup, but there's only one of me. So if I can't get to you, I've built these so you can use stuff that I know has worked, that I know has driven our guys to a healthier understanding of who they are as men. It's helped them unlearn and drop ideas that are problematic, hurt their decision-making paradigms, and it's helped them grow in their emotional fluency and their relationship skills, and not just their romantic partner relationship skills, their ability to be better friends to each other, better teammates to each other. It grows your ability as a coach to build authentic relationships with kids. I see coaches interviewed constantly, and all they talk about is authentic relationships. And I believe them, but you can't do that without relationship skills. That's what we do. Dive into it, use the QR code. That's it, folks. Episode 2, the HuMANiTEAM Report. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, we designed this for you to digest visually in the YouTube space. We know how often YouTube is the go-to library encyclopedia these days. However, if you would rather subscribe to the printed edition that comes out every month from TeamsOfMen, we put that in the comments to the episode. And as always, subscribe, like, smash those buttons for our channel so we can continue to grow and impact the game. And like we said before, grow a healthy manhood, men of emotional fluency, men of compassion, men of relationship skills. And in doing so, end gender violence and oppression one team room at a time. TeamsOfMen.